Right, guys, as you know, this part of the show is called Ordinary People, and as always, I've got someone who's doing extraordinary things in the studio. Well, I say in the studio, but this is a person who's actually been on the show before, and if my memory serves me right, it was about a year and a half ago. Her name is Michelle John, and I'll just give you a recap about Michelle. So, as a survivor of domestic violence, Michelle has used her singing to tell her story, to heal her own wounds. She hopes that her collection of songs will heal the wounds of many, many others, not just women, but men. Michelle had a career as a backing singer for artists including Eric Clapton, Annie Lennox, Mariah Carey, George Michael, Will Young, and in 2017 she was the finalist in The Voice UK. You might remember her from then. She says, "I can't pretend that I have a team helping me on this campaign and doing tasks like press releases. There's no record label management. This album was made possible by her fans and followers who donated through a GoFundMe campaign that she set up. So all those people who invested in her did so because they believe in her. And now she's presenting to the world Diva Songbook Through the Storm." Michelle, welcome back to the show.
Yes, thank you.
How you doing, girlfriend?
You know what? We're just really just keeping it going in the best way we can.
Yeah.
Like there's good days and there's bad days, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
So,
you know,
but you're getting through it. You're
getting through.
It's the
Yes.
most important thing, especially in these, what they say, unprecedented times. But the
Yes.
last time you were on the show, and I'm sure it wasn't last year, it must have been the year before.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was about 18 months or so ago.
Okay. So we were talking about domestic violence and the relationship
Yeah.
that you were in and how you found solace in singing. And you said something about in your family, they called you the white girl or something, or the white singer.
Yeah, because basically I'm a mixed race girl who grew up in a black family, right?
Yeah.
So out of all of my siblings, I'm the only one that's mixed race.
Okay.
And I went to I grew up in a Pentecostal church, black Pentecostal church.
Yeah.
I've been in church since I was about 4 years old. One of the neighbours who lived on the estate that I grew up on in Peckham, shout out to Peckham.
Mm-hmm.
A lovely gentleman called Brother Grant. He knocked on, the doors of all like the single mums. Back then, it was safe to do so.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Look, let me take the kids to Sunday school."
Uh-huh.
And so that's how I kind of got into church.
Uh-huh.
And growing up in a black Pentecostal, predominantly black, I was basically labelled as the white girl that could sing because I was the lightest chick in the building, basically.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of mentioned this last time that it wasn't a label that I was too particularly happy about.
Yeah.
And I think growing up in a black family and being the only one that was mixed race,
Mm-hmm.
I always had a little bit of a complex that nobody looked like me.
Right.
And I kind of felt like the odd one out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And were you treated like the odd one out?
Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
No. My mum.
What about your siblings?
No. No, because I'm just their big sister.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But as we get older and you go to school and I pick my little sister up from school and, I'm mixed race, my sister's black, dark skinned, and like you can see the question mark on people's faces. Or, if my mum came up to parents' evening or something, my mum's a beautiful black lady and they'll be like, "Oh, your mum, oh, you do you know what I mean?"
Yeah.
So I never was treated any differently by my family, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
But I just kind of, look at family pictures and I go, "Oh, I don't look like my family."
Mm-hmm.
I always had that
mm-hmm.
that feeling, and I think it created a lot of identity issues for myself.
Right.
You grow up on the council estate. Mm-hmm. Teenagers can be horrible. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And I had all of that kind of like name calling, being called, you know, horrible names like, you know, half caste and half breed and all of that stuff, which I just hated. And so, you know, I had a real identity struggle for a lot of my life.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the very thing that kind of like you get picked on as a kid often becomes the very thing that is like, that's your uniqueness. Like, embrace it, get on with it, you know.
And how old were you when you started to embrace who you really are?
A grown woman. A grown woman raising a son, raising a teenager, a grown woman who was teaching other young people as a vocal coach. I've been a vocal coach for many years, and advising them and saying to them that they're amazing and that they're unique. And at some point it hits you and you go, well, hold on a minute. You need to take your own words of wisdom here. Do you know what I mean? And apply it to yourself. So somewhere along being a grown-up, the penny dropped, and I just thought, I'm not going to keep allowing myself to feel less than, because if you have that energy, you attract things in your life that confirm that you don't feel good about yourself, that you have low self-esteem. So you attract things that affirm that. Hence, in relationships, and then again, as you mentioned, getting into a relationship where there was domestic violence, which was again somebody confirming that I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel. Do you know what I mean? And actually, there's a song on my album. Which is called Labels. It's one of my own songs. I wrote it myself. And it asks the question, am I good enough? And it's very autobiographical for me, and just about some of the things that I struggled with. As I said, being mixed race, sometimes I was too dark to some of my friends, but I was too light to the others. Growing up feeling like overweight, feeling not pretty, like, you know, all of those things. And later down the song, it answers the question. It says, yes, I am good enough. And that's where I am in my life today. I'm good enough. You know, I'm good enough to be here. I'm good enough to be on this radio with Sonia right now. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. But I mean, that is actually defined who you are, who Michelle John is. And sometimes we do go through that searching. And I don't think it's just because you were mixed race. You know, I feel like when we're young and we mix with certain friends, you know, we want to be like them, don't we?
Exactly.
We want to be like them. And, okay, so they may be darker than us, you know.
They could have been, you know, you could have been the fat friend, or you could have, you know what I mean? You could have been the tall friend, or whatever that different thing is, or the fact that you've got curly hair and all your friends got straight hair. You know, all these silly things that we make such a big issue in our life, and it becomes a negative.
And I feel as long as we grow up and then begin to realise, well, actually, this is me, this is who I am, accept me as I am, or leave me, it's fine, you know. You found yourself, and I do believe that people don't really come into their full selves until they're at least 25 anyway. And because we're always looking for validation, and that's how society is. You know, you go to work, a 9-to-5 job, you're still looking for validation. We think we're not, but we certainly
and acceptance.
Exactly. You know,
and I think as we go on in life, you know, the 25-year-old version of Michelle was one chick. Michelle at 35, oh, that was another version. This version in the fabulous 40s, I mean, that's another version. You know?
And this is probably the best version, right?
It's the best one. I like this one.
So listen, so we're in your so you I just want to recap. So you entered into a relationship, and how long after you entered the relationship did you suffer from domestic violence?
The first year or so, there were signs of control and coercive behaviour.
Manipulation, yeah.
Right? But I kind of like you know, sometimes you're so in love, you're blinkered, aren't you? And then you make excuses and you go, oh, he's just jealous because, you know, he just loves me so much.
Yeah.
Do you you know, I laugh about it now, but there were definitely signs that I chose to kind of ignore or excuse.
Yeah.
And once we were married, after about a year and a half, that's when things really became really ugly. And the aggression really started to play out.
Did you say that you were hospitalized before?
Not like overnight, but there were times when I had to visit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so your message to other women now is?
My message is that
to women who have suffered from domestic violence.
I would say to women and men, because I've been contacted by men before that have gone through, because I had this song called Priceless that talked about me going through domestic violence. So I would say to anybody that has dealt with any coercive behavior, domestic violence, domestic abuse, I would say that you are worth so much more than that. And what happens is that we think that it's because of us, we did something wrong. Maybe if I tidied up better, then he wouldn't hit me. Maybe if I didn't leave my socks next to the bed, then, you know, we come up with all these reasons. But unless that person wants to address their behavior, you know, it's not something you can control. So I think that you owe it to yourself to protect yourself. To love yourself, protect yourself, and put yourself first. And that's what I would advise anybody. And I know it's hard. Listen, I've done it. I had to start my life again from scratch. You know, I had a child at the time, and my son was young, and I literally just started my life again with, you know, 3 black bags worth of clothes.
Wow.
And so I'm not saying it like it's easy. I know how difficult it is. But you know, talk to someone you can trust. There is help out there. There's refuges out there. You can go onto their website. You can go get in touch with Women's Aid. They can find places for you to go and spend the next week, get some support, get some financial support. I actually did a charity single in the lockdown with a charity called Bead House. They're actually based in Peckham. And we worked with Women's Aid, which is a domestic violence charity. And again, they're a fantastic charity that provide refuge for women and children. So please, like, take the help that's there. Get yourself into a safe place for yourself, for your children. And hopefully, you know, the people that are the perpetrators, we hope that they can get the help that they need and address their stuff. But you have to be able to put yourself in a safe place and put yourself first.
So during these lockdowns that we've had, there's lots of big adverts about, you know, people who are in domestic violence. And I saw a show a couple of weeks ago where this woman, she had finally managed to leave her husband, but when the first lockdown was announced, he clapped his hand together and said, right, let the games begin. And in the end, he nearly killed her.
Unfortunately, like, that is too common a story. And, you know, my heart goes out to people in that situation in this lockdown. But I just think, and actually I think the government actually said, for people in those kinds of situations, if you can leave, you can get yourself to safety. If that means you go to another bubble, go to a family member, you go to a refuge, you can do that. And I would advise you to do it.
So you were in this relationship, you managed to get yourself, you and your son, out of this relationship. But during that time, was you still singing, or was that like a no-go because there was jealousy?
What happened was I was singing during the time, and because I started to get a lot of love and little opportunities started showing up for me, that was an issue for him. It was like, oh, you think you're better than me, and, you know, it flagged up a lot of insecurities. And but I managed to keep singing through it, and I think my singing was the thing that kept me going. And I was able to create a career for myself through my singing. Once I'd left, that was when I was like, okay, I need to put some energy into this, because people were asking me, and there was times when I would turn things down because I didn't want to cause a problem.
Yeah.
I was dulling myself down, dulling the light. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
so singing really saved my life.
So it saved. Okay, so when did you start writing your own music?
I started writing whilst I was still there, and it was a bit of an outlet. And but I never did anything with the songs.
Okay.
I just, it was just a way of me expressing myself in a safe way on paper. I could tuck it away, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I never did anything with the songs. Again, that would probably not have been something that would have been encouraged.
Yeah.
In that environment.
Of course not.
You know what I mean?
That'd be you getting out of the box.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was interesting because that was how I became a backing singer. Literally, I got asked to do little bits and pieces, and as I said, more opportunities just started showing up little by little. And then there was a group that asked me to go on tour with them for about a week, and I was like, oh my god, I can get away for a week.
Yeah, fantastic.
Sign me up. And that was really how I got into the whole backing vocal thing. So because it was escape.
But what did he say when you said you were going away for a week?
I just was like, I've got to do it, because at the time I'd been singing in the choir, so I'd been able to do, like, sometimes you have an overnight, the choir being black or something. Yeah. And so that was almost okay, because it was in a gospel choir saying that he knew some of the people there, and there was people that he could use to check up on me. Okay. Do you understand? Yeah. So somehow I managed to convince him that it was going to be fine.
And you came back, so it was fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how did you feel? How did that freedom feel?
Do you know what? I honestly, at that time, I feel like there was two versions of me. There was the version that would be out and be like, and then as I'd get home and I'd be walking up towards my door, it would just be like, just bring it down.
Well, I can imagine, like, the last couple of days, you must have felt really anxious about
worried. What's going to be the energy. And I think for people that that have been through this situation, they probably relate to, you can always tell when something's brewing. There'd be an energy of, there'd be a tension that something's getting ready to brew, to explode. Yeah.
And what happened after you got home? Did it explode?
Maybe not that day, but probably a day or two
afterwards.
Afterwards, yeah.
But it was worth it because you enjoyed every moment of being away, right?
Yeah, because I was like, it was something for me. It was a selfish thing for me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's selfish.
Well, at the time, but you're made to feel that, you're having this thing.
Yeah, they make you feel that way.
Yeah.
It was good for you to get out there. That was the beginning of your backing career. So tell us a little bit about your album now.
Yeah.
One that you have just raised all this money for. How much did you raise?
I raised about 10 grand.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
It's amazing. And as I said, the people on social media, people that have followed me, people that have followed me since I've done The Voice, people that have come to my shows, because since I've done The Voice, which was 3 years ago, I've been doing lots of my own concerts and shows all over the country, and I've been going to Italy and Europe and different places. And so I said, look guys, I'd like to do this project, and all the songs are, the whole premise of the album is songs to bring you through the storm. Songs to bring you through difficult times. and which I think I just couldn't do life without music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And I think we all,
it's in your DNA.
yeah, you know, we all have our happy songs, and we all
Yeah.
have our, you know, when you want to set the mood songs, and you have your, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So music is just such an important part of existence, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I have my own songs that are my kind of inspirational songs that I like to listen to lift me up.
Yeah.
And so this album is completely songs that I love.
Yeah.
And that,
because some of them are covers, aren't they?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how many songs on the album?
There are 11 songs on the album.
How many are covers?
There are 9 covers and 2 originals.
And the originals, you wrote them as well?
I wrote them.
Okay. So
and this album, sorry, darling, this album, I've produced it. So even though they might be songs that are familiar,
mm-hmm.
I've done them in my own way.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you put your own spin on it.
I put my own spin on them, yes.
So we had our first lockdown.
Yes.
And the government announced no singing, no clubs, no musicians, no nothing, right? What did that do for your soul?
Do you know
you had a lot of stuff booked for this year, didn't you?
My diary was full.
Right.
For this whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was literally like rubbing my hands like this. Ooh,
it's going to be the year. 2020 was going to be the year of vision for you, right?
Get some new shoes. It's going to be amazing, you know. But hey, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I have to give a shout out to my neighbours because they are they're so supportive of me and so tolerant because literally I would have to sing in my kitchen just to keep myself up, you know. And then, you know, I got asked to do a couple of things on Zoom, and I recorded a couple of songs and put them on, you know, my social media and stuff, because I just had to sing. You know, I just had to. But what was so lovely is, like, some days I'd sing for like an hour. I'd be having my own concert in here. And you know, my neighbour would text me and she goes, "Oh, I love that one."
Listening.
And I'd say, "Oh my God, sorry, I'll be finished in a bit." You know? So they were so tolerant. But I had to sing, Sonia. I had to sing.
Fantastic.
I had to.
You had to sing, you sang, and you wrote.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to write a song?
Do you know what tends to happen with me? I'm not one of those people that likes to force something and go, right, I'm going to write a song about sunshine. I'm one of those people where I just get, like, I might wake up with a melody, or I'll have like a little lyric, and then that's the start of something. And when that happens, it comes quite quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I could write a song in 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
you know what the music is to those words. Yeah. So do you play instruments as well then?
I play a little bit of keyboards. I play enough to teach. As I said, I'm also a vocal coach, so I play enough to teach. I know what the notes are, but I'm not.
So when you've written your song, you've got the song in your head, okay?
Yeah.
And you know what music you want. Are you? So I'm assuming you're able to say to whoever's making music, "This is what I want it to sound like," and then they take away the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I often do is I'm a great believer in voice notes.
Okay.
And so I sing the tune into my phone, into the voice notes, and then I might have like a bass line. So I might say that I recorded, and I record it. I see. And so when I then go with whoever I want to work with, I say, right, this is the bass line, this is the rhythm, whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I already have a picture.
Right, I understand. I always, I mean, I don't know how it happens, but I always think, this person's a songwriter, and then somebody else creates the music. Well, how do they know you know, how to put music together. But now that you're explaining to me, I
but then
understand.
sometimes, you know, you work with, I'm blessed, I work with some really wonderful musicians, and they'll come up with something that's better than my idea.
Oh, okay.
And I'll go, oh, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not one of those people that's like, look, it has to be like this because that's my. But I have a picture of the song, and I know what the song, what the message is I'm trying to give in that song. Yeah. So it has to fit my picture in my imagination.
Yeah, I get it.
Do you know what I mean?
I understand. I hope the listeners understand too.
Yeah.
This is an artist, a creative person at work, and everybody does theirs differently. Yeah, but that's me, that's my way. So you decided that lockdown wasn't going to keep you locked down, even though it meant that you had to reschedule the whole appointment for the rest of the year. You decided you were going to record these songs. You wrote two. You got music to it. You set up your GoFundMe page. You raised all this money, and then tell us how you spent that money. Because people think £10,000. What's she doing? People don't understand that, you know. Well, in order to hold a keyboard, what do you call the person who can do the editing?
To be honest with you, and I'm not saying it like, please guys, do your research, but an album for £10,000 is so cheap. Like it's not. Albums cost a lot of money.
Hold on, there was no music video to any of these, was there? It's just literally just recording the song
because there's no dosh.
And to hire
because you have to pay the video crew.
And hire the studio.
Right. So basically, how the money gets spent, and what I did is because I believe in transparency, and so what I did is. All along the process, I captured video, I captured moments, I did live broadcasts. So people that were part of the GoFundMe and on my social media could see what I was doing.
Right.
So they could see we were at the studio. We weren't in my house. We weren't, do you know what I mean? We went to a studio. We had the musicians there. Of course, I have to honor the musicians for their time. I have to give them some, you know, I have to pay for the studio. You have to pay for, we had backing singers. You know, all of these things cost money. Then the album had to be mixed. Which is in a whole nother process.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Explain to us.
What happens is when the album is mixed, so every song, there's different files. So the guitarist has his own file.
Okay.
The keyboardist has another file. The keyboardist might have 4 files.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so there might be 4 different things that he's played on that one song. So somebody has to piece it all together.
Okay.
And that's the mix, because you have to mix it all together.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Right? Okay. And then after it's all mixed together, then you then take it to the next place and it has to be mastered. So what the master does is he makes sure that, let's say, for example, the guitar is not louder than my voice. So when you guys listen to it, you don't go, well, we can't hear her.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
They have to make sure that the drums isn't overpowering this, and that you can hear the bass guitar.
Yeah.
And that.
Okay.
So there's a process.
Yeah.
And so what I did as well for the GoFundMe crew, and I will say this, people are still putting money on the GoFundMe, which is a blessing, because as I said, I was very transparent. All the different stages of they were there with me for the whole thing. But what I did is the album is available on all digital platforms. You can go to iTunes, Amazon, or Spotify, all of those, right? Yeah. But a lot of people are old school. They like to have a physical CD.
Yeah.
You in the CD. Yeah. Yeah. You've got the little booklet. Yeah. Gives you a little bit of chat, and it's got a couple of nice pictures. Yeah. Right. So a lot of people have bought the CD and have been ordering CDs for Christmas and for their friends or whatever. Yeah. So I've said to people, if you want to get a CD copy of the album, go to the GoFundMe. It's £10, and we will ship the CD out to you, and you're good to go, and we're happy. I'm happy. You're happy.
Yeah.
And we'll just make people happy.
Right, now let me just mention this now. Now, you said I don't have a management team.
No.
Yeah. And you don't have anybody doing your PR, but yet you just said we. So who is we?
Oh, well, because my band and the engineer. Do you know what I mean? There'd be no music without them. You know, there'd be no album without the guy who mixed it, the guy who mastered it. So it's a team effort.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's all on my shoulders, but it is a team effort.
But you don't have no
media crew like that. I don't have a media crew, so every post you see is me sitting there typing my little fingers off.
Oh, wow.
And pressing send.
And creating it yourself.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of hard work, and I think I didn't appreciate what was involved because I was a backing singer for years, so I show up and I do my ooh, and I go home, cheers guys, and I put in my invoice. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So now, you know, getting all the graphics done and uploading it onto iTunes and and getting all the licensing and oh my gosh. But now I feel like a boss. I feel
you can teach Beth about this now, can't you? Production.
Exactly.
About that, can't you?
Exactly.
All right. So when is your album out?
It's out now. It came out a week ago.
Yeah.
And it's been really well received, and just wonderful DJs like yourself, Sonia, have been playing it and letting me come on and chat about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's out now. It's doing its thing. So please, go out, get it.
So people can go onto Amazon.
You can go into Amazon. You can go into iTunes, Spotify, Deezer. Apple Music, it's all there. And as I said, if you'd like to get a CD copy of the album, please go to the GoFundMe and just tell
our listeners what the GoFundMe page is called.
Go to GoFundMe and type in my name, Michelle John, and the campaign will come up, and all the information is there of what to do. It's not me, I don't handle the money. They handle it all, and we'll get the CD out to you. And
how much is it on Amazon then?
£10.
And how much is it on? And so what's the difference going to GoFundMe and then going to Amazon if it's both £10?
One's a tool, one is a hard copy. The GoFundMe is just for the CD.
Oh, I see.
If you want to get a CD, you go to the GoFundMe. Right. If you want to get a digital, if you want to download it or stream it, then you go to the digital outlets.
Which is Amazon and Spotify and
iTunes.
Right, I get you.
Apple Music, yada, 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 yada. But go to my social media, go to Michelle John of my Facebook, and my Instagram.
Okay.
My Instagram is Mish John, MEESH, Mish John. My Twitter's Mish John. Go to my Facebook, go to my artist page. Yeah. And all the information is there. Awesome. And you can just see the whole process. There's a little video there, shows you the making of the album.
Oh, lovely.
So it's all there for you. Yes.
Right. Well, we wish you all the best. I want to say thank you very much for coming back and giving us an update.
Yes.
And we wish you all the best with the sales. I'm sure it will skyrocket.
Yeah.
You were born to sing this. You were born for this. You were born for this.
Thank you, Sonia.
Don't give up.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the platform. Honestly, without you guys, you know, we need you guys to get our music out to the people. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.